In today's head-to-head brought to you by Club 4x4, we have the People's Champion in the 2026 Hilux and the best-selling ute in Australia, the Ranger. Now, this is a V6 Ranger. This is the 2.8 hybrid SR5 Hilux. And why the V6? Because mid-year this year, you're going to struggle to find a bi-turbo. So this driveline is probably the most likely driveline to compete against the Hilux. Now, we're not going to go talking about cup holders. We're not really going to talk about price today. Today is about finding out which driveline, which chassis is the best off-road. So you might be thinking bringing a 3-litre V6 turbo diesel to a 2.8-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel fight is a bit unfair. And yes, 184 kilowatt, 150 kilowatt does feel a bit unfair. But here's the thing, this has a 48-volt mild hybrid system in it, and it is exceptionally peppy around town. I've driven both of these on the road for the last couple of days, and the Hilux actually accelerates really well, even though it only has 6 gears versus the 10 in the Ford. Now, the V6 is a bit smoother, it's a bit quieter, and it does have more torque overall at 600 Newton meters versus 500 for the Hilux. But the Hilux is lighter, so when we head off-road, I think it's going to be pretty evenly matched. So both these utes can haul just about a tonne across them for payload, and both on paper can tow 3.5 tonne. Now, there used to be quite a big GCM issue with the Hilux. It used to be that if you put a 3.5 tonne van behind it, you only had a couple of 100 kilos of payload left over. But thankfully, they've increased the GCM quite significantly. There's a slight advantage on GVM to the Ranger, but the Hilux is quite a bit lighter. So they end up being pretty close on paper. Now, if you were to tow a 3.5 tonne van with either of these, with a 350 kilo ball weight, you're looking at a bit over 600 kilos of remaining payload in the Hilux versus around 550, 530 in the Ranger Sport. So first up, we're in the Ranger. Now, this is a Sport V6. This is the only one we can get our hands on to get the 3-litre V6 and the 10-speed auto. It's a nice place to be. It is starting to feel its age. It's been out for a few years now. Being a Sport, it does have the bigger screen by Ranger standards. Leather extended seats are comfortable. Pretty much everything's electric. One thing I can tell you from already having driven the Hilux and this is that the steering wheel fits in a better spot. It's a bit closer to you. It's a bit nicer seating position in that sense. But yeah, let's go check out the Hilux. So apart from how it looks on the outside, the biggest change to the 26 Hilux is the interior, and it really desperately needed it. You've got what you want now, bigger screens, Apple CarPlay, but what really matters is the seats are super comfortable. Now, this is an SR5 without the comfort pack or the luxury pack, so it does just have the fabric seats, but honestly, they're really comfortable. But, you know, honestly, that doesn't really matter to us today because we're gonna go push them off-road. So before we get into any gnarly driving, I just want to take both these utes out in just what, you know, we'd call it more ordinary full driving, right? So track work and 4 high, where you might see a couple of obstacles to drop into 4 low. The idea is just how do they ride, how compliant are they? So I'm in the Ranger first. Now, one of the cool things about the Ranger, which I think the Hilux misses out on, and it's a bit of a shame, is having 4 auto instead of 4 high and 2 high, 4 low. Now, why the Ranger can do it, it's got a clutch pack or clutch type center differential, so it can engage and disengage quickly. So I've got it right now in 4 auto, and that's all I need on a track like this. If I start to lose a bit of traction, I know that center differential will lock and just give me a bit of extra grip. It's smooth. It's just lots of power on tap, but the suspension just rolls with the punches. It's a bit floaty, but personally I like that. I like the vehicle that just goes with the bumps. I don't want it to bottom out. And truth is, I haven't yet, and I'm not holding back much. So it's pretty good. Right, so into the Hilux in 4 high, not 4 auto, because the Hilux does not have that in it. It feels really well put together, just feels solid on the track. Doesn't float as much as the Ranger. Some people, myself included, quite like that kind of flowing feel of the Ranger because it just sort of gives you a bit of, I don't know, sort of riding on cloud 9 kind of feeling, where this feels, how I describe this, maybe a bit more sporty. This is a bit more jittery. It's not crashy. The suspension's doing a good job, but it's certainly not as floaty as the Ranger. Just driving on a dirt track, trying to hold a bit of pace, not doing anything silly, but what I'm trying to find here is just how nice it is and how compliant it is to drive over rough terrain without necessarily pushing the limits of traction. Alright, we have found ourselves a more challenging track, and this is going to be a challenge. This is a track that I look at and I think only solid axle coil sprung vehicles typically go up here. I've got the Hilux in MTS automatic, so I have not put it in rock or sand or any other modes it has. I've just left it in to figure itself out, and I have not locked the rear diff yet because I want to see if the traction calibration is as good as they've always been in Hiluxes. Yeah, at the moment, yeah, pretty good. Alright, let's see if we can cross up over here a little bit. Now this is much more extreme than most drivers are going to test their vehicles on. And at the moment, my only real concern has been the chance of smashing my side steps or my front bash plate. And they are easy fixed, or easy replaced I should say. Okay, we're across.
Come back. Come back.
Okay, been told to come back.
Come back. The wheel.
What was the issue?
That looked like whole front of car damage.
There we go. This is why it's good to have a spotter, people. So I'm using the front camera, and I was looking at quite a deep right, thinking I could cross across it. My camera guy was looking at it, telling us we were about to do serious panel damage. Okay, so I've crossed across this deep one, and with two wheels in the air, MTS is doing its job perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, Hiluxes make light work off-road. Alright, so straight off the bat, really good throttle control on the Hilux. Like, I'm just gently holding the accelerator and I'm not worried about it jerking or anything. It's really nice and progressive. And at the moment, that diff lock is doing a great job. Now, we'll catch on that pretty bad. Here we go. Alright. Okay, so this is my first, probably wheels up in the air. So we're two in the air now. Drop the nose. Yeah, having that diff lock just pushed us straight through that obstacle. Already I can feel the suspension in this. It's reminiscent of last year's model. It just has so much droop. Right, so I'm in the Ranger Sport V6. I'm only in low range. I don't have any modes on because I want low range and I want the choice to use the diff lock. And straight away I probably could have used it there. That's just me, I stopped on the flat. Yeah, okay. I do not have as much grip in this. Yep, alright. I'm just going to lock the rear diff straight away. Well, that's kind of telling straight away. So just using the MTS and the Hilux, I got a lot further straight away. Yeah, catching a little bit already. That's to be expected. So now diff locked, low range. Ranger V6. Yeah, this is way less compliant. There's much less travel. It does not have the same articulation as the Hilux. But, you know, I'm getting up the hill. And like I said in the Hilux, this is harder than most people can drive. I mean, right there, I had the back end slide out as I went through that. Okay. Just gonna go this way and go across this line up here. Throttle modulation or throttle sort of calibration is not as nice in the Ranger as the Hilux, but it's okay. And you can hear all the parking sensors going off because I'm back onto three wheels there. To push through that, I lost a bit of traction, which I didn't have happen in the Hilux. So we definitely have less traction. Yep, back on the ground. Not so bad. Still struggling a little bit for traction with the rear diff engaged. but it's okay. Okay, yeah, I can feel I need to use a lot more of the track to get through this. That's okay. Right, come on out the hole. Get out the hole, come on. All right, let's get this right. Might need a spotter for this. Yeah, I felt it crab, but what I was trying to do was just pop it out. I'm wondering if I just give it a bounce straight forward, if I'll pop that rear wheel out. If I do, are the rears going to be able to get across this top line?
You're only that far from getting to the flat.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
But it's just...
If I can get out.
There you go, Jimmy.
So, what I was trying to do there was, after this first gnarly hole, was go top side of it so I can cross up in there. But what we found is I've dropped the passenger side rear into this rut and it's dragged me along. Now I thought that was okay because I thought I could pop it up this bank, because honestly that's not that steep, but we are just not getting enough traction. So now I've got a corner in the bank and I've got to figure out how to get it out. Oi, oi. All right, back in. We've assessed the situation. The left rear bumper is probably going to take a bit of a hit here, but I'm going to try the original plan, which is to bring the nose around, get it onto the high side and drive it out. Yep, I've got it off, which is a good start. Just going to ask my guys a bit of advice. All right, this is why we want spotters, people. Got a little bit to go back. Yeah, I feel like I can get it from here. So, there we go. We'll do a damage report in a minute, but I think I might have actually avoided having to say a lot of sorries to Ford over that. Right, damage report and off-road verdict. Firstly, the Hilux made it look a bit easier, but we'll get to that in a second. The front of the Ford Ranger collected the ground quite a bit. I think if you wanted to do anything, upgrading the bash plate's a good idea. More importantly though, the side steps in these, plastic, real basic clips. Get yourself some proper rock sliders if you're going to do driving like this. The Hilux did it easier, but we still have damaged this side step quite well. The front bash plate took quite a few knocks. The rear took a few knocks as well, but not as bad as the Ford. Really, honestly, either of these vehicles, if you were to do this sort of terrain regularly, you're going to put some sliders on, you're going to put a bit of bash plate on the front, and if you can get it and justify it, the rear bar is going to help a lot in dips like this. So there's quite a lot of droop in the Ranger, but there's not a lot of tuck up front, and that's fundamentally the biggest difference in the chassis between these two. The Hilux has better droop, better tuck, particularly at the front, and its MTS system, so its off-road traction control system, superior to what's in the Ford. I got this Hilux up this climb without the rear diff lock. I had to use the rear diff lock in the Ranger. The tyres do play a part, don't get me wrong. They're both on road bias tyres, so upgrading them will help a lot. All right, before we get into the verdict, another special thanks to Club 4x4 for getting behind this series. All right, warranty, servicing, cost of ownership, that sort of stuff. Look, a lot of you are going to have an opinion on the Ranger's engine, that V6. They're having a number of recoils, we know. What was more of a surprise to me though when I was looking through the documentation is the Hilux's service intervals are still 10,000 Ks or every 6 months. You're going to be going to the dealership more if you own a Hilux, but it might not be for breakdowns. It's a really hard one to split this one for me or to decide on. On paper, the Hilux has finally caught up in terms of load and GCM. Now we haven't towed with either of them, but on paper it looks like it's going to be able to finally tow a full-size caravan and take the kids on holiday, something we know the Ranger has always been good at. In terms of general driving, the Hilux is a bit more sporty. It has a lot of punch for an engine that has on paper less power than the V6, whereas the Ranger feels a bit more floaty, a bit more calm, still urges you on to go fast. I suppose if you're a family buyer looking for comfort, this is probably the platform, even if the interior is a bit more aged. Whereas if you're looking for straight off-road ability and a bit more of a sporty feel, you'd go the Hilux. All right, well, I can't split them, but you tell me in the comments which one you would take home. Hello everybody, you know the drill, like and subscribe, and again, a special thanks to Club 4x4 for getting behind this series.